You're not going to believe what's going on with the Oilers right now. First off, the winger just signed a deal that could completely change the team's future, and what he brings this season might catch a lot of people off guard. But that's not all. The roster's gone through some big cuts, with a few players heading to the Condors and others leaving the organization entirely. And to top it off, insiders are saying as many as 5 rookies could make their debut on opening night, giving the lineup a totally fresh look. Stick around, and I'll break down everything you need to know and how these moves could affect every game. If you love this team, hit that subscribe button now. Let's hit 2,000 subs together and show the power of Oilers Nation. Over the past few months, GM Stan Bowman has been making some quiet moves that fly under most people's radar, but could seriously shift the team's direction. And if you think a trade or signing is just paperwork, you're about to see how every decision counts when building a competitive squad. Before I get to the big news, let's remember Vasily Podkolzin's journey. He came through Vancouver and landed in Edmonton after a smart trade when Dylan Holloway went to the Blues. At the time, not many saw it as a win for the Oilers, but hindsight tells a different story. Here's the headline. The Oilers signed Podkolzin to a 3-year extension worth $8.85 million. That averages out to $2.95 million a season, but here's the kicker. Next season, his cap hit's just $1 million. That's practically a steal. Podkolzin still has to prove more offensively, especially away from the McDavid-Draisaitl duo. Last season he only scored 8 goals, but he showed he can play responsibly in his own end and has the right chemistry with Draisaitl. He's the kind of player who grows with the team. Numbers don't always tell the full story. Advanced stats might raise eyebrows, but the reality on the ice is different. Podkolzin is learning to balance offense and defense, and the team believes he'll step up as a top 6 winger. He's also led the team in hits and shown he can block shots, even taking on key PK duties. With vets like Zach Hyman coming back from surgery, Podkolzin's role is only looking bigger. Of course, there's risk. Paying nearly $3 million for a winger who still has to prove himself in the top 6 isn't without concern. But if he keeps progressing and hits 20 goals in any season of this contract, it'll be a huge bargain for Edmonton. On a personal note, Podkolzin recently had to return to Russia due to his father's sudden passing. The whole Oilers Nation is sending him strength during this tough time, a reminder that players have lives beyond the ice. So, Oilers fans, do you think Podkolzin will cement himself in the top 6 and justify every dollar? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to share this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay on top of everything Oilers related. There are some surprises coming that nobody saw coming. Roster cuts, contract moves, and potential rookie debuts could completely change how the team plays. If you want to know who's really going to make an impact, don't go anywhere. The next update will give you all the info you need before the season kicks off. Preseason is in full swing, and every game is giving us a clearer picture of the team's immediate future. Fans are buzzing after the 4-0 win over the Winnipeg Jets, but tough decisions are already popping up behind the scenes. This is exactly when roster cuts start shaping who has a real shot at the season opener. Every practice, every shift, every minute on the ice can be decisive for a player's NHL future. Preseason is a test of endurance, discipline, and talent. Experience doesn't always win, and the flashiest names aren't always the ones who survive cuts. The team's making adjustments, and some players' futures were decided this week. Here's the scoop. After the win against the Jets, the Oilers made some big cuts. Forward Roby Jarventie and defenseman Josh Brown were released, while forward Viljami Marjala and goalie Samuel Johnson were assigned to the Bakersfield Condors. Jarventie came in with expectations after the Senators trade but hasn't stood out. An injury that sidelined him nearly all last season really slowed his development, and now he has to prove himself in the minors. Josh Brown didn't surprise anyone. The defender fell behind in a position that's already deep in Edmonton, so there wasn't room for him on the roster. On the other hand, Viljami Marjala is a name to watch. The young forward impressed from rookie camp through preseason, showing versatility and drive. He nearly made the main roster and could be one of the first call-ups during the season. As for Samuel Jonsson, the goalie looks like a solid long-term project. The Swede left a good impression, built confidence, and will get his shot in the minors before potentially stepping up to the NHL. These cuts are tough but part of the process. The team is taking shape. Forming the roster we'll see on opening night. Fans are already imagining the Oilers at their best on the ice. So, who do you think benefited from these cuts? Which young players do you want to see get a shot this season? The future of the Oilers is about to unfold, and it could surprise even the most loyal fans. Strategic roster moves and young players ready to shine are on the way. You won't want to miss a single detail. Stay tuned, because the next update could flip the season on its head. Bob Stauffer from Oilers Now shared a post on social media that got fans talking. He pointed out a possibility for the season opener that could change the team's dynamics entirely. What this means for veterans and line rotations is something to keep an eye on. Before we get into what's really happening, let's look at the preseason standouts. Matt Savoy and Isaac Howard are two young forwards already turning heads, showing skill on the wings and chemistry with the team's top players. At center, Noah Philp has made noticeable progress. Every preseason game has been an opportunity to prove he's NHL ready. His battle with Curtis Lazar has been tight, but Philp's earned attention from the coaching staff. David Tomasek hasn't been far behind. He's constant in the forecheck, wins battles, and even gets opportunities on the power play. The team is watching him around the net, a role usually filled by someone like Zach Hyman. Now here's a surprise. Alec Regula, the 6.4 defenseman. He came from the Chicago Blackhawks organization via waivers. Even with some NHL experience, he'll be new to the Oilers lineup this season. If Stauffer's prediction holds, some cuts are likely. Otro Lepinen, Cam Dineen, Curtis Lazar, and maybe Matthias Janmark could miss the opening roster. Tough calls, but part of the plan to refresh the team. Lepinen stood out in preseason, played well, and could be a valuable piece down the line. The competition for a roster spot is stiff, and he'll have chances to prove himself during the season, even if he doesn't start on opening night. Here's the big takeaway. The Oilers could open 2025-26 with 5 rookies on the roster, something that doesn't happen often. It shows the team's confidence in their young talent and their commitment to developing players internally. Oilers fans, what do you think about this strategy? Do you believe these rookies will make an impact right away? Or is it too soon to tell? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this on your socials, and don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of all things NHL.